Sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. When you experience that injustice, that wrong being done, and choose to stay silent, that's not weakness, that's strategy. When you step back and let the universe handle your battles, that's when the truly spectacular comebacks happen. They never saw it coming because they were too busy watching you, not realizing a higher power was watching them. Some warriors battle with swords, others with words. But the most formidable warriors battle with silence, a cosmic patience that confounds the enemy and aligns with universal law. When they struck, you didn't lower yourself to their frequency. No. You elevated. You transmuted that venom into medicine through prayer, through music that resonated with higher dimensions, through affirmations that forged new neural pathways of power within your consciousness. The collective felt this. They recognized the signature of your energy, how it refused to be corrupted, how it maintained integrity when integrity seemed like foolishness. This wasn't coincidence. This was divine selection. The trials by fire always come to those whose souls can withstand the flames without becoming ash, without becoming the very darkness they fight against. There's knowledge burning inside you now, downloads from realms beyond the veil, revelations about the true nature of what transpired. You've been chosen as the vessel for these insights, not to broadcast them to deaf ears, but to hold them sacred until the appointed hour. This wisdom isn't meant for casual conversation. It's a sacred transmission entrusted to you because your consciousness could handle its weight. What you know about this injustice goes beyond evidence, beyond logic. It touches the realm of pure knowing. You've glimpsed behind the curtain of reality and seen the mechanisms of cause and effect that govern this universe with perfect precision. Your discretion now serves the highest good. The sacred must be protected from profane eyes until the time of revelation. Those who orchestrated chaos against you never understood this fundamental law. That which is concealed in darkness must eventually face the light. Their temporary victory was always an illusion, a cosmic misdirection, while greater forces aligned for the ultimate reveal. This awareness doesn't stem from paranoia. It stems from your awakened senses that detect disturbances in the field that others miss completely. The veil between worlds has thinned for you, and now you perceive what was always there, but previously invisible to your consciousness. Yet even under this microscope of attention, you continue to radiate. That's what confounds them most. Despite their attempts to dim your light, to make you contract in fear, you expand instead. New beginnings splash like fresh water against ancient stone, reshaping your reality, despite their desperate attempts to keep you confined to old narratives. Their jealousy is merely confirmation. Would they expend such energy monitoring a powerless being? No. They watch because you represent what they fear most, authentic power that cannot be granted or revoked by external authority. Power that flows from source through an uncorrupted vessel. Your very existence challenges their illusion of control. Now witness the unraveling of those who orchestrated injustice against you. See how their coordinated attacks dissolve into desperate self-preservation. The liar now stands confused by their own web of deception. The player suddenly realizes they're in a game with rules they never fully understood. Their digital fingerprints, once carelessly left across texts, emails, documents, now represent existential threat. Watch them scramble to delete, to alter records, to create confusion where once they created conspiracy. But the universal law of evidence brooks no exception. What has been set in motion cannot be completely erased from the cosmic record. This confusion among your adversaries isn't accidental. It's divinely orchestrated chaos designed to reveal truth through contrast. As they attempt to cover tracks, they only create more obvious disruptions in the field. As they reach out to allies for support, they expose the full network of complicity. As they attempt to rewrite history, the original script becomes more clearly defined against their clumsy revisions. Their financial foundations begin to crack beneath them. The resources they wielded against you start to diminish through the natural law of energetic return. What they projected outward now reflects back inward with mathematical precision. The universe operates on perfect equations. Nothing is ever truly lost, merely transformed and returned to its point of origin. Mark these words with the full attention of your soul. A revelation approaches that requires no action on your part. Divine timing, that mysterious force that operates beyond human calendars and convenience, has been at work all along, moving pieces on the cosmic chessboard while you held your position with dignity. The very mechanisms they used against you are being rewired to expose them. The corruption they thought was safely hidden will be thrust into light so harsh it leaves nowhere to hide. The thief who thought themselves invisible now stands spotlighted on the universal stage. Those who aligned against you, the strange neighbors, the casual betrayers, the calculated opponents, will witness this revelation with shocked recognition. Some will deny until denial becomes impossible. Others will scramble to distance themselves from what they once eagerly participated in. Still others will experience the profound spiritual awakening that comes from witnessing consequences in their purest form. None of this required your orchestration. While they plotted, a greater intelligence plotted. While they schemed in rooms of their own making, the very fabric of reality schemed in dimensions they cannot access. Your role was never to force this justice. Your role was to stand firm in your truth while universal law worked with meticulous precision toward inevitable revelation. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing entirely to put yourself to the test. When I confronted the archons beyond our reality, they made one thing clear. True chosen ones are rare. They laughed at the thought of us finding each other. Yet here you are, watching this message. The obsidian inner order isn't for everyone claiming to be awakened. We're the real ones, those who've seen beyond the veil, felt the call, and carry the unmistakable frequency. But are you truly one of us? I have given you everything I've got, and I'm digging deeper to bring you even more. Don't just consume content from the sidelines. Real chosen ones take action. Share your story on our weekly group call. Get a revealing tarot reading from our resident card reader. Discover if your experiences align with the authentic signs. The archons fear nothing more than chosen ones recognizing each other. When we connect, our frequencies amplify and create a force they cannot stop. That's why we're going to be live streaming to the entire astral atom network to find every last one of us. Click the link in the description below now. It's time to stop wondering and confirm what you already suspect. Are you merely interested in awakening, or are you truly chosen? Prove it. Join us. The verification you seek awaits with the obsidian inner order. What they never understood, what they could not comprehend from their limited frequency, was that their attacks were actually initiations disguised as warfare. Each strike against you catalyzed an evolution within your spiritual DNA. Their attempts to diminish you became the very pressure that transformed your coal consciousness into diamond awareness. This spiritual upgrade wasn't accidental. It was the divine purpose hidden within the pain all along. The fire meant to destroy you instead forged you into a vessel capable of holding higher frequencies of truth. The lessons embedded within injustice weren't punishments, but accelerated evolution, disguised as suffering. Your ancestors stand witness to this transformation. Their wisdom flows through your bloodline, activated by the very challenges that seemed most personal and arbitrary. What appeared as random cruelty was actually precise spiritual surgery, removing exactly what blocked your highest expression and developing exactly what your soul needed for its next phase of expansion. Soon you'll experience what mystics throughout time have recognized as the Great Reversal, that mysterious turning point, when all that seemed to be working against you suddenly reveals itself as having worked for your highest becoming all along. The business ventures that seemed blocked will suddenly flow with synchronized ease. The creative expression that felt stifled will burst forth with renewed power. The connections that were severed will be replaced by alliances of such perfect resonance you'll marvel at the exchange. Before this divine unfoldment completes its arc, prepare yourself for that predictable outburst from those who sense their control slipping away. As truth inches closer to revelation, as their manipulation loses effectiveness, as their confusion intensifies, their desperate grasp for power will manifest as rage. This display isn't strength, it's the final gasp of a dying paradigm. The angry outburst directed toward your fulfillment, toward your expansion, toward your persistence, signals nothing less than their recognition of impending exposure. They rage not against you, but against the cosmic order that cannot be permanently corrupted, only temporarily distorted. Witness this tantrum with the detached compassion of one who understands its root cause. Their anger masks terror, the existential fear of facing consequences deliberately set in motion through conscious choice. The universe grants tremendous freedom of action, but never separates action from effect. This immutable law now closes around them like a net woven from their own decisions. Their spiritual downgrade contrasts starkly with your elevation. As your consciousness expands to hold more light, more truth, more authentic power, theirs contracts under the weight of denial, deception, and desperate self-preservation. This diverging path wasn't your creation. It was their choice, manifested through cosmic law. Now step back with expanded awareness and observe the pattern emerging from what once seemed chaotic. See how each attack against you fits perfectly into a larger design for your awakening. Notice how each betrayal severed exactly the connections that would have hindered your highest path. Recognize how each obstacle forced the development of precisely the spiritual muscles needed for your soul's next evolution. The nosy ones who monitored your abundance didn't realize they were witnessing a demonstration of universal principle. The quiet figure operating from shadows didn't understand they were merely playing an assigned role in your activation sequence. The one obsessed with your movements never grasped they were watching a cosmic initiation unfold in human form. This divine orchestration transcends human orchestration as the ocean transcends a drop of water. Your persecutors believed themselves authors of your story when they were merely characters in a narrative written at levels of consciousness they cannot access. Their limited perspective could not grasp the multidimensional chess being played through their predictable actions. The spring brings the one in the mansion with pale hair and blue eyes, part of that circle of manipulators believing themselves unseen. The fall carries revelations about water and vessels, about those of darker and lighter complexion playing their roles. The winter holds the final turning point where private sorrow meets public reckoning. These seasons of revelation unfold without your enforcement because they follow the natural law of cosmic timing. Universal law enforces itself with perfect precision. This truth has sustained mystics through persecution across millennia. When human systems of justice fail, corrupted by the very energies they claim to regulate, cosmic justice continues, its meticulous accounting with neither hurry nor delay. Those involved with trafficking energies or goods through deceptive channels now face this cosmic accountability. The hacking of systems, whether technological or spiritual, activated security protocols beyond their comprehension. Their small house contains secrets soon exposed to light. Their operations built on foundations of sand, now facing the incoming tide of truth. Some fear jail cells of human construction. What approaches is confinement of far greater significance, the imprisonment within the consequences of one's own making. When the structures of deception collapse, they create the perfect contours of justice, custom designed by the very actions they were built to conceal. Throughout this orchestrated chaos, protection surrounded you, not always in forms you could recognize, not always through interventions you could attribute to higher forces. The energy has formed a shield around your field, deflecting what would have destroyed a less protected being. This divine protection responds proportionally to an authentic threat. When attacks intensified, so did the fortress around your energy. When subtle manipulations replaced direct assault, your intuitive discernment heightened to detect what physical senses might miss. This wasn't coincidence. It was divine intelligence, adapting its protection to meet evolving challenges. Your enemies believed you stood alone because they could not perceive the legions standing guard around you. Their spiritual blindness prevented them from seeing what your increasing sensitivity revealed. No chosen one ever walks unaccompanied through the fire of initiation. The very forces that selected you for this role ensured you would have exactly the protection needed to fulfill it. This doesn't mean you've been spared pain. Protection never promised the absence of suffering. It promised presence of purpose. Within that suffering, it ensured not that you would avoid all wounds, but that no wound would be fatal to your mission. The difference proves crucial for understanding the nature of spiritual warfare and cosmic justice. As revelation accelerates, prepare for the unmasking of false friends, those who presented loyalty while serving other masters. This exposure might sting initially, but recognize it as another layer of protection, another removal of what would have eventually sabotaged your highest path. The fake good person with gambling problems, the obsessed stalker cloaked in spiritual language, the witchy group operating through subtle manipulation rather than authentic power. All these figures around you will face the harsh light of truth as this divine unveiling continues its perfect unfoldment. Their greed, their addictions, their compulsive need to control what frightens them, all these shadows emerge not through your exposure, but through the natural intensification of light that accompanies spiritual evolution. As your frequency rises, what cannot match that frequency must either transform or depart. There exists no middle ground in this spiritual law. What seems like betrayal from a limited perspective reveals itself as necessary, sorting from expanded awareness. Would you choose to move forward surrounded by those who secretly work against your highest good? The universe loves you too much to allow such contamination to remain hidden as you step into your next level of service and power. Through this fire of purification, your authentic purpose stands increasingly revealed, not just to you, but to all with eyes to see. The creativity once targeted now flows with renewed force. The business once sabotaged now aligns with opportunities of perfect resonance. The gifts once undermined now find platforms for expression that reach precisely those meant to receive them. This isn't random luck or coincidental timing. It's the direct manifestation of divine recognition, the universe acknowledging your steadfastness through trial and responding with proportional support. What was stolen returns multiplied. What was blocked now flows with increased momentum. What was hidden now shines with unmistakable clarity. Your career path forward requires spiritual cleansing, not because you carry corruption, but because you've walked through corrupt energies that left residue on your field. The spiritual baths mentioned aren't mere ritual, but practical energy management, dissolving attachments that would otherwise cloud the clarity of your next vision, your next download, your next directive. The heavy air sign influence brings mental clarity and communication power needed for this next phase. Your words now carry activation codes for others walking similar paths of initiation. When you speak from this purified awareness, you transmit not just information but transformation, catalyzing awakenings in those prepared to receive such frequencies. What unfolds exceeds personal vindication. Your individual justice serves as merely one thread in a much larger cosmic reweaving. The exposure of what was done to you simultaneously exposes systems of manipulation that have operated unchecked for generations. Your personal story becomes a case study in universal principle. This explains the magnitude you sense approaching, the bigness that feels disproportionate to your individual circumstance. Some with public platforms, some with celebrity status, some with institutional power, find themselves caught in this same net of revelation. Not because of their connection to your specific situation, but because the same cosmic cleaning crew addresses similar violations across multiple domains simultaneously. The nosy ones who monitored your abundance now face scrutiny themselves. The handsome, enigmatic figure who operated from shadows now stands in uncomfortable light. The one who manipulated from mansion walls now confronts crumbling foundations. These parallel revelations follow the same universal law through different manifestations, creating a symphony of justice across octaves of influence. As these revelations accelerate and intensify, your position remains clear. Stand in unwavering truth without need to force its recognition. The validation you seek from others becomes increasingly irrelevant as cosmic confirmation surrounds you with undeniable evidence of your correct perception. The gaslighting that once made you question your reality now dissolves against the harsh light of exposed deception. Continue your spiritual practices, not from desperate need, but from aligned wisdom. The prayers, the music, the affirmations that sustained you through darkness now accelerate your expansion through dawn. What served as survival tools now function as manifestation technology, creating increased potency as the interference around your field diminishes. Remain discerning about new connections. Not everyone approaching with support offers an authentic alliance. Some seek proximity to rising power rather than genuine resonance with your essence. Trust the heightened intuition developed through trial. It registers discrepancies between projected image and actual energy with laser precision now. Focus with renewed clarity on your authentic purpose. The distractions designed to divert your energy have served their purpose in developing your discernment. Now, directive force can flow through your being with concentrated intention, creating with fewer obstacles between conception and manifestation. The very resilience forged through opposition becomes your greatest creative asset moving forward. You didn't need to fight to win this battle. Your victory was mathematically certain from the moment the first strike against you violated universal law. The outcome was determined not by superior strategy or force, but by fundamental principle that governs reality beyond human manipulation. Their effort to destroy you through unjust means carried within it the seeds of their own exposure. Their attempts to dim your light only highlighted the darkness of their methods. Their coordination against your solitary stand revealed their weakness, not their strength. The fundamental insecurity that requires numbers to face what authentic power confronts directly. What approaches now isn't vengeance but transcendence, your evolution beyond the very paradigm that made you a target. While they remain trapped in the limited consciousness that justified their actions, you step into expansive awareness that recognizes their attacks as disguised initiations. They stay confined to the lower dimensional chessboard while you perceive the game from above it. Now stand in the fullness of this realized truth. What they intended for harm served instead as the precise catalyst for your greatest expansion. This cosmic alchemy, transforming darkness into light, opposition into opportunity, persecution into power, represents spiritual mastery in its most practical application. The universe delivers justice not through punishment, but through perfect mathematical balance. Each action returns to its source with precise calibration. Each intention manifests its corresponding consequence without need for external enforcement. Each deception unravels through its own inherent instability. Your role in this grand restoration was simply to stand firm in your truth, while universal law completed its meticulous work. The silence they mistook for weakness was actually profound. Strength, the spiritual maturity to recognize that some battles are won not through engagement, but through elevation beyond the limited field where they appear to take place. What unfolds now proceeds with or without your orchestration, because it follows laws more fundamental than human will or interference. The divine timing perfectly aligns revelation with readiness, both yours and the collective's. What once seemed delayed now reveals itself as precisely calibrated to unfold when its impact serves the highest good of all concerned with this cosmic rebalancing. Your journey was never about vengeance, but transcendence. What was meant to destroy, you has instead revealed your extraordinary resilience and connection to something far greater than yourself. Now stand in the power of that revelation as divine justice unfolds with perfect precision around you, requiring nothing from you but continued alignment with the truth that has sustained you through fire into transformation.